I got my little helper with me here today. My little Bobby baby. My little sweetie. Kisses is all here. She just loves you all. Here, I'll try to show you. This is how your dog, you know your dog loves you. She just comes to sit on your feet. Listen, dogs. That's all I have to say. If you're having trouble with happiness, you feel like your life is missing something, dogs. The cosmos says so. No, I say so. Dogs. They make your life better. And cats too, animals in general. I mean, I know some people love their lizards and stuff, but I gotta say, I think you need a hug, and they're not gonna hug you. Believe me, you don't want your boa constrictor hugging you. Dogs. That's my guess. But cats are lovely too. They really are. Dogs have a magic that has saved my life, and so I highly recommend them. We're going to wait for some people to come on. I don't know who's going to be able to come on, but if you've seen, I'm posting these dailies on Astrology Motivation now. I posted my first one, what was it, yesterday? I'm going to post this one over there too. But this is the only place I'm going live. However, when I do, I think I'm going to do a full moon, because this is a big full moon on the 26th. So on the 23rd, Big Papa Saturn goes into retrograde. And then we're followed by this really tremendous lunar eclipse full moon on the 26th, and we need a special for it. It's a full moon in Sagittarius, which you know the north node is in the south node is in Sagittarius, the north node is in Gemini, the sun will be in Gemini tomorrow. This is really exceptional time to break away from our past, and when karma will come back around. And basically, in a way, I think breakthrough with understanding and comprehension, enabling us to accept our circumstances in a way that we have not been able to accept them before, so that we can incite change ourselves. But we'll get into those details later. Today, let's focus on today. Today, the moon is still in Leo right now, but it will soon be in Virgo. It gets a lot more solid if you check out the weekly astrology forecast. That's over on Astrology Motivation as well. Things are going to go a little bit more smoothly now. The beginning of the week were the difficult aspects. But the sun will enter Virgo pretty soon, actually, in like an hour. And then the color of the day is yellow. So welcome to Wednesday. Happy hump day, everybody. I'm really glad that you could join me. Hello, guys. What's up? Hello to you, Atlanta, baby. What is CSV? Is that Canada? Is that what it is? Hi, Atlanta. You can't hear me. I don't know why you can't hear me. Can you hear me? I don't know. Are you guys, can anybody else hear me? You guys can hear me? Hi. Okay, good. Yeah, it may be on your side. Santa Valley, Los Angeles. Oh, woo! See, you gotta go real slow for me, because I just got out here. I don't know the abbreviations. Good, you can hear me, because I feel like it's some sort of technical loop within some programming thing. So I don't know if it's your phone or something, but there have been some technical issues. If you keep having a problem and you can't hear me, please reach out to Instagram and let them know, what programming system that you're on, whether it's Galaxy, iOS, whether you're watching this online, what kind of browser you're using, because there's something going wonky there. So today is a very good day, and the sun is out right now. San Diego gets a little weird. Maybe you could, if you're out near Los Angeles, you could like holler at this one. I don't know if it's, I'm sure it's similar for you guys because you're so close, but it's like this weather is wonky. Like every single day this week, I've woken up to clouds and overcast, clouds and overcast. And then it clears up for a couple of hours during the afternoon, and then it goes back to clouds and overcast. So I don't know. Hello. I'm glad you finally caught up to me, man. I'm glad you're here. All my notifications are still coming through, but whatever. Oh, I'm trying to get this hair to work out for me. I don't think it's as oomphy. Whatever. This is the problem, man. I just wish I had like even a fake face to look at. It's called June gloom. There you go. There you go. What the hell is this? Somebody better call God and be like, we did not move to Southern California. We do not tolerate these ridiculous gas prices and fucked up rent rates to get you a whole month of gloom. Like, what the fuck is that? Plus, Mel, it's like, it's May. It's not even June yet. It's not even June. All I'm going to say is they better give us a nice clean week at the end of June to make up for this shit. Because if we're paying for anything out here, we're paying for the sunshine. And I'm putting in my, that's what we do. That's what us Connecticut bitches do. We write letters. I'm writing a letter to God and I'm complaining. I'm complaining. Who's the manager? I want to talk to him. Because, like, come on. I seriously, like, could they put that on their rental agreements? Could they put that on their mortgages? That, like, 2 to 3 months, like 2 months or a full month out of every year is going to be, like, gloomy and overcast. And another couple of months in the beginning of the year are going to be really actually cold and rain every day. Like, they don't ever put that on the brochures. They just don't. I'm just saying. Let's get into the reading. Yeah. Oh, of course I forgot. Okay. I love you, Ozzy. You have best baby. Best baby, best baby. Give me your hand. I love you. We went to the beach today, which is kind of sad actually because the beach is going to close down for dogs. I go to Del Mar Dog Beach. I'm usually there in the mornings if anybody wants to shout out and say hi to me. They allow dogs there, but only through, I think it's Memorial Day, and then they close it down to dogs. And I say fuck you to that. I hate that. You know how I feel about my animal, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that decision. A Coronado Dog Beach is year-round. Keeping it real, Coronado, keeping it real. Thank you so much. But that's like a 45-minute drive away from my house, 50 minutes. So it's a big haul just to take her for a walk in the morning, but she loves the beach and I love the beach. All right, we got our passions back. Oh, 10 of Cups, you better flip around. I feel like we're looking for other options. Hold on, I'm gonna do this. Hold on. I know people think I'm crazy. Yep, it meant to come out. It was coming out upside down, so shit. Here we have passion, and look, he's riding a unicorn. That's so cool. Believing in his dreams, facing the conflicts, going after something. The sure, like think of surefire when you see the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is surefire energy. He is committed. He loves something. He loves something, he's passionate about it, and he goes after it. This is about a real devotion and a pure-hearted focus on moving forward and progressing in something that you have a lot of enthusiasm for. And then we have the 3 of Wands, which is usually about education or learning things or looking in a different direction for new options. And then we have the 10 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups in reverse can be a pretty fucked up energy in that it's just usually about breakups and disappointments and maybe something that you had a lot of enthusiasm for doesn't want you back. And as I say that, look what's here. And I think it's time. You know, interestingly enough, but then we also have the Devil, which is something about fear. So you know what, you know who you're picking or who you want to be with or the connections that you're making. Hold on. Fear, addiction, struggle, sadness, heartache, grief. That's a really cool image of the devil. Let me show you guys. He's kind of scaly. Isn't that really cool? I love this artistry. I'm using the vice versa deck. Really great illustrator. They're really great illustrators on here. I love that. So this is the devil. And, you know, the problem with the devil is that he makes you think he's the only option. When really, if you turned around and you look at the other side of this card, if you just turned around, you'd realize that you could get out. But the problem with the devil is he's captivating and he makes you think that's the only I'm the only option. And that's not ever true. Let me tell you something. And I'm sure that somehow science has proven this. There is never only one option to something. Never. There is always multiple ways to handle a situation or options. There is. There's never just one option. And when you get into that point where you're so blocked in, you think, I only have one option, it is because of fear. And fear has, in so many ways, shut you down. Oh, so we have somebody stealing shit. Somebody taking shit. This is the central energy, though. It could be fear that's making you try to cut corners. I don't know. And then we have the Lovers. That's really interesting. Hold on. I now want to see the rest of the cards because the Lovers represents Gemini energy as well. There's a lot of major arcana on the table. We have the Death card, which is the frightening. Something frightening. Something ending. An ending. Acknowledging the ending. Okay. And then we have Cancerian energy, which is the Chariot, which is making progress. But this side of the card reminds us, are we ready to let go of the past? Or are we chained to it? And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is standing your ground. And it's almost like you've gained a little ground, but not that much. So you have to keep working. That's what 7 means. 7 means that there has been advancement and that you realize things. Like if you've been seeing 777 a lot, it's like something has awakened in you and you realize it. And this is the beginning of your path toward abundance, right? But it's not necessarily abundance yet. You still have to do some work. In other words, this is a turning point for us. And anytime I see that Scorpio energy, I know it's a turning point because that's what Scorpio energy is. And then we have a Hierophant. And the Hierophant represents tradition, traditional values, religion. It could also represent marriage. You know, with the cards on the table, it feels like that 7 of Swords in the central energy. I'm going to go ahead and say that you're moving on from what has been taken from you or losses in your life, whatever those losses have been from. And they could have been from yourself, you know, whatever it is. It's like you're moving away from it. You have the 2 of Cups here. You have the Lovers here. I know what the 10 of Cups means, because it's 10 of Cups in reverse. It's not going to be what you think. There is definitely love, and there is definitely opportunity coming in. But it's not what you think. It's not how you've imagined it. It's as delicious as you've imagined it. It will invoke the same emotions and happiness as the way that you've imagined it. But it is not the same as you imagined it. Because remember, when we imagine things, we use images that will catalyze emotional reactions in us, which means we're basing the images that we see in our head off of experiences we've had already or things that we've seen that, you know, have already given us that reaction, like a movie or a movie star or something like that, right? But reality always looks different than fantasy. And that's what this reading is really calling you to realize. To recognize that reality always looks different than fantasy. So the way that you can tell you're in the right place or doing the right thing, how do you feel? Because it's the feeling that I think is really the important part right now. How does something make you feel? Is it making you vibe? Even if it doesn't look the way you imagined it or isn't happening the way that you imagined it, I need you to be really finely tuned right now, because that's what Gemini energy is. It tells us how to make connections. It tells us how to listen to each other. Listen to vibrations. Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, which also controls music. And I know that maybe people would argue that music is controlled by something else. It's mercurial, because it's that perfect balance between intellect and artistry. And so it's almost like we need to really listen to that fine tuning, that vibration. Seven of Swords, I think, give me a second, give me time. Moving away from a circumstance that did you a lot of harm, especially if it's a specific person that did you a lot of harm. It's almost like we're ready now. We're ready to face that even though we've let this bad influence in our lives go, it doesn't mean that we don't still have work to do moving forward. I think sometimes people get rid of that bad ex, or, they don't allow somebody to come back into their life. And they're like, yay, my whole world is going to get brighter now. It's actually a slow, steady uphill climb. It's not the skies clearing immediately. I feel like there is actually marriage. And you may have given up on it because of so much shit. But see, the thing is, the Seven of Swords, you know what? Clarify the Seven of Swords as the central energy, please. Clarify the Seven of Swords. Clarify the Seven of Swords, please. I just saw the Ace of Swords, which is clarity. But clarify the Seven of Swords. Okay. So this was an individual who was happy to take credit for other people's work because they were too almost impetuous to do the work themselves. It's almost like trying to cut corners. That's what this is. That's what the central energy is. Trying to cut corners. Trying to cut corners with love is falling in love with somebody that you don't even really know that well. It's just that they fit an image that you imagined in your head, and you try to superimpose everything you ever desired onto them when you're not even getting to know the real person. And then you wonder, why did I end up hurt? Because you weren't ever even really in love with the person. You were just in love with the fantasy they provided you. Number one. How does this happen in terms of success? In terms of success, this is trying to cut corners. Thinking, listen, I can do all the stuff that I like. I can focus on the stuff that gives me a rush, that makes me happy. But all the grunt work, I'm gonna shove that into my closet and forget that it exists. And then when your closet kind of spills out on you and dumps all the shit all over you, you kind of whine and cry, maybe act like a victim. How could this happen to me? How could this happen to you? It didn't have to happen to you. This is somebody, could be somebody that you're dealing with and not you. But today is the day when we discuss cutting corners. And the reason why is because we are, Papa Saturn is up in there. He's going to check in those closets and he's going to see, did you do the work? Did you not do the work? That's what happens in Saturn retrograde. Did you do what you're claiming you did? Are you 3D in line with your 5D, your multi-D, Pluto? Because Pluto's been in retrograde and he's definitely feeding Saturn his missions of, listen, are they spiritually aligned? Are they living truth? Is what they're doing is what they're doing outwardly really sincerely what they're supposed to be doing? I just posted about this. I posted it to my stories over here. It was a man who was talking about you could be a quote unquote good person, you know, somebody who pays their bills on time, pays their taxes, never broke the law, follows the speed limit, and not actually be a good person. And that's what this is about. And that's what's going to come around to fucking haunt people. You know, especially when Saturn goes into retrograde, because it's like, have you been playing by the rules because they're aligned with your heart? Or have you been playing by rules because you're a bunch of bullshit and you just wanted to like make things easier for yourself? Or you didn't want, because it's sometimes it's easier to play within the lines than dare to follow your life's purpose if you know that takes you outside of the lines. So we're coming into this energy now, and this is like fair warning for this energy now. I'm trying to figure out why it's coming in now, but it comes to us when it needs to come to us. And really what it's saying is cut corners. Somebody who really cut corners. Yeah, somebody who cut corners, maybe because I don't know. We'll get into it, but this is like cutting corners. Or why do you really do what you do? Are you doing it for the reasons that you're saying you're doing it? We have this card. It's actually upstairs. I didn't bring the deck down. And it says, it's the only Doreen Virtue deck that I use. I was given it by Amber. Sometimes she's on here. I don't know if she's here today. She's working. It's the card that says, why are you working as hard as you're working? What are the real reasons? Are the real reasons because you're completely dedicated to what you're doing? Or are the real reasons because you're afraid of the loneliness that you'll have to face if you're not working? You could be filling your life up with the right things for the wrong reasons. Just to let you know. And I think that that's the comeuppance that we have to face today. And there's a rationale, and there's a pragmatism here, and there's a comeuppance, if you will, that's happening. Maybe a review. There's also a sense of, in some ways, coming back to tradition. On the bottom of the deck, or I should say on the top of the deck, is the 10 of Pentacles. And this is two people coming together who had spent a lot of time alone. There's a lot of marriage here. Let's put it this way. I don't know if somebody's actually getting married or they've prevented communion with other people for a long period of time, but you're not going to be able to avoid it anymore, is what this reading is saying. And people who have wished for and wanted it are going to be asked, why are you wishing for it? Why do you want it? Do you think it's because somebody else will solve your problems? Because you're going to be faced with those problems and you're not going to get your person, and you're going to feel like the universe hates you. And that's not what it is. It's, you can't rely on somebody else to make you happy. You have to learn how to make yourself happy. And only when you make yourself happy are you going to be able to come together with another person. And that's what the universe is waiting for, to see that quality. Not about cutting corners and making things look like they're a certain way. It's just not going to cut it now. Now, this is the story of somebody who cut corners and did not acknowledge the people who really helped them. They stole something. They took something that didn't belong to them. It could have been ideas. It could have been actual resources, money. It could have been somebody else's person. And if that is the case, there will be a lot of readjustments that we're going to be experiencing right now. An intervention of the divine, which is why you have so many major arcana. You have the devil, and then you have on the other side of the central energy, we have the devil, then we have the 7 of swords, clarified by the 6 of wands and the Knight of Swords. And then we have the lovers, followed by death card, followed by chariot, followed by Hierophant. There's a lot of major arcana at work because the cosmos and the big papa planets are all aligning. And this is about, we could get a second chance that we fought really hard for, you know, and that we didn't give up on, and that we showed a dedicated faith toward. It could, and in some ways, did the right thing, did it the right way. Taurus is like the traditional value system. So sometimes it means playing inside the lines, going the traditional way, but it could also just mean doing it the right way, doing it the sincere way, doing it the way that it's supposed to be done, which is not cutting corners. Having the strength to actually, you know, take the hit one after the other, and just realize that I can't get through this easily. I can only get through, the only way out is through. And through is a long and winding and treacherous, arduous road. But the people who really deserve what's at the end, which is the rainbows and butterflies and pots of gold that we all want, that's the people that travel this path. That's what people get. You it's kind of like earn it. That's kind of what this is saying. Earn it. I feel like there's more of a message that I'm missing, but I'm going to keep working on it. Let's go into the Moonology cards. There's one card that came out. Prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. That's interesting. We just had a new moon in Taurus. What did you manifest? What did you ask for? Because there does seem to be some directional cues that are guiding you toward that abundance. There does seem to be some potential coming in. It's a reminder, because it says prosperity lies ahead, which means we still have to move in that direction. It's not there yet, but it is there, and it's like waiting for us. Like it's not even optional. Like I started out with, it's there. Prosperity lies ahead. You know what? Because our energy is part of creating it. It's part of the recipe. If we didn't do the hard work, then all the ingredients wouldn't be there for us to put together what we really want to put together. Okay, the keys. So this is doors opening for you. All of a sudden, aha, understanding, getting the go-ahead, and then obedience. This keeps coming up. And of course, if you look really carefully at this card, obedience, you'll see that it's not about obedience. It's about, you pretended to be obedient, but what were you really sneaking in? Like somebody tried to sneak something in on you. I want to know more about that. It's like now you're realizing, and now it's being revealed. If you're the one that tried to do it, then it's going to be revealed. If people were doing it to you, then it's going to be revealed. Somebody was sneaking shit in. And it's about to be revealed. And, you know, I'm not saying people are going to jail and shit. You know, this is all fucking like the Thomas Crown order. You know, like it's not espionage and shit. But whatever corners you cut, it's like the doors are open. It's revealed. It's revealed the people who were up to the shady shit. And they will be pushed out of the way. And the ones who did things right will be welcoming. And right, let me remind you, is based on your heart. It's not based on the rules, the laws of the land. Because, you know, you could do something that's legal and still be a horrible person. You know, lots of people used to own slaves. Like lots of people were more than okay with turning in their neighbors, you know, when the Nazis came through. Like those, I use those examples because they're really easy to see because they're so extreme. But there's a lot of things day to day that I think each of us do that are a lot smaller and less significant than that are just a bunch of bullshit. Why are you doing it? Are you doing it to avoid an issue, even though your heart tells you to do something else? Listen, we all got to pay bills. That's true. I don't think the universe is going to punish us for that. But to what extent does that take the priority for you instead of, you know, your truth? It's in other words, it's going to be a hard wake-up call for some people. Abundance from within. This is the reminder that you are valued and you are worth it, and to believe in yourself and to not piecemeal yourself and say there are only parts of me that can be loved. All of you can be loved, and nobody is worth more than you. You know, we always look outside of ourselves and compare ourselves to other people. This is about finding our value. And when you find your value is when you find your courage to stick by what you know is right. And then you have nature. This is usually a card that suggests get back to nature. Use nature to ground yourself, to clarify, to cleanse, to realign yourself with with your truth, to harmonize yourself, to tune up your instrument, and remember your value. Let's go to recognition and reward has just come out. The waiting game. So we have been waiting or expecting some sort of payback or profit to come back to us. I also say that I feel like if you put in the time, you will get equal out of it. You will get what this is a payback period. This is a period where you will get out what you put in. It's almost like a reward or recognition that we've waited for many years, or opportunities that we've waited for many years, but they never came, right? It's like these are coming to us. Let's see, obstacles and challenges. I wanted to wait. It's interesting. This is 3, this is 2, adds up to 5, and this is 5. So those are the changes, man. It's almost like these are going to point out the changes right now, what you're going to see. And this isn't a lesson. This isn't a video anybody wants to see anymore, right? Because it's not the happy news. But it's basically the challenges and obstacles that you see in front of you are there for you to clean up so that the recognition and rewards that you've been waiting for can come in. But it's like the delivery man can't travel over a broken bridge, and you have to fix that bridge. It's your responsibility. So it's almost like this is a clean your shit up day. This is a clean up period. This is a time when you have to go and like do your taxes, right? Nobody wants to sit down and do it, but you got to do it. And this is the time to do it. And it's not just about taxes. I use that as an example, but it's about what are you really supposed to be working on? Like, what are you really supposed to be working on? Now, for some of you, it could be learning to sit in the sunshine instead of overwork yourself. That's what I'm talking about, truth, right? It could be like, what are you talking about, Michelle? I work 16-hour days. I know, but maybe then your lesson isn't work ethic. Maybe your lesson is take a fucking break. Maybe your lesson is, did you go to the beach today? Did you walk your dog today? Did you call the person that you're supposed to love today? What is it that you have been skipping over because it scares you more? Because it's not easy for you. For some people, work is easy. It's a safety zone. But it's a safety zone away from something else that they should be confronting. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what will really... Hey, Levon. That's what will really come back now. I mean, and that's a big one. That's really personal, right? It hits home to you. But ultimately, that's what we got to grind down on right now. That's where we got to stick our heels in. The stuff that we haven't been wanting to face. Speak with love. Open your heart. Boy, this is perfect. And say, I'm sorry. It's almost like they read your mind. And that's what it is. It's open your heart, speak with love, and say, I'm sorry. So whatever it is, in other words, you know what the cards are saying? The angels are like, I love you, but you were wrong. And that's why you got the 7 of Swords as the central energy, because it represents us, at least in my spread, right? It represents you. So yeah, you fucked up in some way. You tried to cut corners in some way. And no matter what you've been doing, that's good. Could have just made $1 million in the stock market. Yay! Doesn't mean that you weren't an asshole to your husband or wife. And no amount of money that you've made or accolades that you've made is going to help you skip over the shit you've been avoiding, because the shit you've been avoiding is what's coming back to you. And so this is it. The universe is like, we saw what you did. And I'm not saying you were evil people at all. I'm just saying, oh yeah, you've been shoving shit under the carpet instead of actually cleaning it. So something's going to start to stink and rot. And maybe you're going to have to call in a professional cleaners to help you out with it now, because it's gotten so bad. But you're going to have to face it, or your house is going to become unlivable because the stink is going to be so big. And the same thing for me, it's my administrative work. You know, I let it build and I let it build because I hate it. Virgo is my north node, and I got to double down and really force myself to organize myself. And the shit catches up with me. Say I'm sorry, open your heart, and speak with love. In other words, I know I was wrong. It's my fault. It's my fault. I still love myself. I still love you. I didn't do as good as I could, but I can do better. You know, it's like, that's what the universe wants to hear now. It doesn't want to punish you. It wants you to learn a lesson and see, oh yeah, avoiding did not work, did it? No. Avoiding stuff did not work. That's what the universe wants you to acknowledge. And then it'll give you time to clean up. But it needs to see that effectually you're making an effort. And this is the day to start that. Okay, and then we have, I will fight. Never give up, right? Be brave. This is also about clarity. This is, if somebody's coming for me, I will not run away. In other words, this is, I won't run away. It's almost like Macbeth. Do any of you guys know, maybe you've seen a movie, maybe you've seen the play, maybe you've read it. What I love about the end of Macbeth is that he, at the end of the play, does not run from his fate. He runs toward it. And in some ways, that kind of redeems at least an aspect of him. I know I've been disgusting. I know I've made these horrible decisions, and so I accept the fate that I've created for myself. This is that. This is like, I will not back down. I will not try to escape this. I know I fucked up. I'm going to meet you head on. I don't think for all of you it's going to be a fight to the death. I think for most of you it's going to be this. I get it. Let's just have an open dialogue. Listen to you. I'll listen to me. And I'm just going to deal with the truth right now instead of trying to avoid it. I am royalty, which is regard for yourself and love for yourself. And also, this is the time when you can show your true value. When you show your true worth, when you don't back down, and when you take responsibility. And in other words, the universe is, in a sort of passive-aggressive way, giving you an opportunity to shine by showing the world your integrity. And how do we see integrity more clearly than when you fucked up and you own your mistakes? I'm not going to keep trying to find ways out of this. I'm going to dig my way out of it because I put myself here. That's integrity. And that strength that you'll gain, and when people watch you do that, that's what's going to open up the doors. That's the key. Letting go. Learn to let go. And as you see, she's like saying something. You know, so it's almost like an announcement of, I get it. Yeah, letting go. Letting go of fear. Letting go of, remember the devil energy. Letting go of the fear that makes you try to cut corners instead of the courage that you have inside of yourself to actually get through it. Letting go. That's what you're letting go. That's what you're letting go. I'm so glad you guys stick with me. I'm so happy. Orphaned. Yeah. Many, and there's 5. So let's talk about 5, because 5 is about change. It's about change and masculine energy. So it could very well have been the denial of the divine masculine, or not taking action when you should have. Orphaned. You've left something unloved. You've left a part of you neglected. And that's why it's causing so much problems. And that's why it's so evil and bad, because it's the neglected child. It just needs love. So this is about loving those parts of yourself that you have denied love to and that you've bastardized. Don't bastardize any aspect of yourself. Love your whole self. Once you start loving this child will become fruitful and beautiful again. It's what needs to happen. Also, this is something that you left behind, right? 5 could also be those things that you denied or would not pay attention to. It's like facing your orphans. Those things that you've neglected, you now have to face, and you have to face all the problems that came from them being neglected. The tribe. I love this. You have friends around you. You have friends who will help. And if it's pride that's been part of your problem, you're going to have to come to them on your knees and admit your mistakes and admit that I need your help. That could be also, I need your help. I can't do this on my own. I can't. I need help. And then look what happens. Happy. You have 2 8s here. 6 + 2 = 8. 8 is abundance coming in. As soon as you start really tackling those things that you've left neglected, abundance starts to come in. And it's the abundance that you've been praying for. It's the abundance that you've been saying, hey, universe, I've been working my ass off. Why haven't you been giving the abundance to me? Because you haven't been doing what you're supposed to be doing. I don't care if you've been going into work at 7 o'clock in the morning and coming home at 7 o'clock at night. Why are you avoiding your wife? You got to do the work that you're supposed to be doing, that your heart knows you're supposed to be doing and you're afraid of. That's the key. And as soon as you start doing that work, happy. Let's get into the angel messages. I tell my son this all the time, guys. I feel like I've shared it with you before. He is a daredevil. He loves jumping out of planes and taking planes and flipping them in the air. He loves it. What he doesn't love is academics. That's hard for him. And I tell him that you may think that courage is jumping out of a plane or flying a plane in midair, flipping it over, driving fast. You may think that's courage. But courage is really the act of facing your fears. And since you don't fear that, there's really no courage in it. It's just pleasure. It's just another way to get high, right? It's another way to escape those things that you're really afraid of. And maybe what you're really afraid of is scheduling yourself, sitting down and doing work. You may only get a C on it. That may scare you, right? Because, oh my God, you're not the best at it. You don't shine at it. But that takes courage, right? It takes courage to do those things that scare you, that you know that you're not going to get instantaneous gratification out of, that you know that make you feel vulnerable. That's courage. That's when you know you're being courageous, and that's when you know you're using your heart and following your path, is when you're showing up to something that scares you. Think about that Game of Thrones line when Ned said to Arya, when you're scared is the only time you can be brave. Because that's what facing your fear is. It's courage. It's courage means that you're afraid of something and you're facing it. So that's what I'm talking about, this open demonstration of, well, look how good I am at all of these things. But you're not facing your fear. You're not facing what you're really afraid of. And that's what the universe is saying. That's your holdup. That's your block. You want your abundance to come in, you got to be brave. And you got to face your fears. And you've been avoiding them. We've been avoiding them, all of us. So we have love here. The heart of love is the heart of creation. All is possible through love. All is worthwhile for love. May all you think and feel reflect love's eternal truth. Love, 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 connection. And remember, to have connection, you must be able to be vulnerable. Imagine, clearly visualize the life you want. Feel it in your heart and soul. And so it will come to be. It will not just come to be. You will have to face your fears to get there. You will have to manifest it. But you can get there. It's doable. The universe is saying, we want you to get everything you've ever imagined. And this is the way to do it. So you can either take our advice and follow the roadmap we just gave you through this reading, or you can continue to lie to yourself and try to find a shortcut and continue to loop around and be more and more miserable. It's really up to you. Last but not least, I love you, fear. I did not pull this card, it fell out. And it's the one that was face down. So you have love, you have imagine, and then you have fear. I, Archangel Michael, am here to help you through the present time. I love you. I protect you and keep you safe. Trust that all is well. Accept my love and allow it to dissolve your fear. You are not being judged by the universe. You are not being judged by God, and you're probably not even being judged by others. You're being judged by yourself. And it's those fears that we have to face. I love you guys. I'm going to post this over on Astrology Motivation. Please do check out Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. You went live today. I hope you enjoy your readings. I thought especially Pisces was especially provocative. I always try to get you to go over to Vimeo because you know what? The readings are the fucking bomb and it's essential to the channel's existence. So it's a great exchange. If anybody ever wanted to donate to the channel, that's the best place to do it. I love you guys and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.